What's up, people? This is Through the Table, and the Royal Rumble was just last night, and my god, what an amazing show. I want to give my thoughts on it. Now, before I actually start on the show, on the Men's Rumble and the Women's Rumble, they had this little bar on the bottom that said how many people were in the ring, who was eliminated, who's next, and the countdown, and who has came in what numbers order. That was actually really appreciated because of the fact that that kind of match, with so much going on, can get kind of confusing. So that was appreciated. Something new, something different. It works, it helps. Now the Women's Rumble started off the show, and Liv Morgan and Io Sky were number 1 and 2. And man, the workhorses of Monday Night Raw started off, yes please, those two killed it. They last an insanely long time, but not as long as number 3. She's small, but she's mighty. She's Roxanne Perez. Oh my god, Liv set the time for the longest time in the Rumble in this current one, but after she got eliminated, Roxanne was still in there, and she set the longest time for ever being in a Rumble. 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 47 seconds. Damn! That girl went the distance. Complete props to her. Iron Woman of the match right there, starting from number 3, going all the way down to the last 2. We had a few NXT faces show up. Jada Parker, Julia, Stephanie Vaquera was in there. Lash Legend was in there. Julia and Stephanie had a little face-off. Jordynne Grace was in there at number 19. Oh my god, I jumped out of my seat once I read her name and heard her music. That was incredible to see her. She was giving out German suplexes like that thing was going out of style. And speaking of losing my mind, Alexa Bliss came in at 21. I legit screamed and lost my voice for a minute. Oh my god, I was pumped to see her back. I really hope she's back on a full-time basis. I love that she came out with the doll that she was having when she was with Bray Wyatt. She turned around and her jacket said Fiend, but then also in between the F and the I that said an R in there. So it said friend and then forever. Which that's cute. That's a nice little touch. Trish Stratus came out at number 25. I heard the music. I didn't recognize it for a second. Once she came out, and I was like, oh shit, it's Trish. That was cool. That was cool to see her there. Which then the queen, the GOAT of women's wrestlers came out, Miss Charlotte Flair. Woo! I love that woman. Been out since the end of 2023. And my god, the ovation she got. Once that music hit, the crowd went berserk. You could see her just walking down to the ring and people bowing down to her. What a fucking impact she had. Oh my god. Once she was announced to be in the Rumble, in my mind I was like, okay, instantly, she is winning. She was my pick ever since she was announced. And then number 30's music hits, and it's Nikki Bella. Notably, I'm not the biggest Nikki Bella guy. I'm not really huge on the Bella twins. I understand why people like them, but I was more of a Brie guy if anything. But hey, I went nuts. That crowd went nuts. There ain't no doubt about what she has done for women's wrestling. A bunch of eliminations start to happen at that point, and it comes down to the final 2, which is Roxanne and Charlotte. And my god, these two had basically a mini match together. Finally, at a point, Charlotte throws Roxanne over the top rope, boots her in the face, she hits the floor. Charlotte's the winner. Who I said from day one that she is going to win. I'm so glad she won. Calling it now. We haven't seen it before. Blonde versus blonde. Charlotte, Tiffany. Women's title, Mania. That will be killer if it does happen. The tag team title match. DIY and Motor City Machine Guns. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see the first fall because of the fact that my internet went out at the time, which sucks, but it came right back on right as the second fall happened, so heard that was going to be the second fall in commentary. But man, DIY knows how to do some great heel work. They know how to be bad guys, they know how to be good guys, but man, they are really good at being bad guys. You love to love them, but you gotta hate them just a little bit more. Such smooth flowing action between these two. Just the way they all kind of move together and coordinate with each other, it's just a beautiful art to see. And that's what pro wrestling is essentially. Beautiful art. So as everyone knew was going to happen, came down to the third fall. Could have gone either way. DIY could have won, Machine Guns could have won, but all of a sudden it just came down to the referee got distracted out of nowhere, went over to the apron, two guys pop out on opposite sides of the apron, and it's revealed to be the Street Profits in hoodies. And Profits hit one of the guys from Motor City for the crutch. So he falls to the mat, and Ciampa and Gargano see the opportunity. They hit the meet in the middle and retain the titles. I'm confused. Did Street Profits turn heel? Because what we assumed was that since they were attacked, that DIY did it. So why would you help out the guys that attacked you? Ciampa and Gargano are bleeding at this point, and so they roll out of the ring. They start celebrating, holding up the titles, and all of a sudden they get whacked with the crutch too. So are you trying to help these guys? You're trying to screw them over? You're trying to get the tag titles? What are you guys trying to do here? I'm confused. Does this lead to a possible triple threat at some point? Maybe at Mania? We shall find out in the coming weeks of SmackDown. Alright, one of the matches I was most excited about in this show was Cody and Kevin in a ladder match for the WWE Championship. The real championship and the replica Winged Eagle Championship hanging above. Because Kevin wants to claim to be the champion when we all know he ain't. But my God, what an intense match. Man, these guys were going all out for this. I swear, these two were trying to kill each other. Starts with a bit of fighting in the beginning. They eventually go to the outside of the ring, into the crowd. Kind of going around the crowd, back to the ring, And it was kind of funny at a point. Kevin takes Cody and just smacks him on the camera. It was kind of funny. Got a little chuckle out of me. In a ladder match, the ladder is always going to be used as a weapon. And they found some pretty creative ways to use it as a weapon. Where Cody stomped out the bottom rung of a ladder at a point and started hitting Kevin with it. Kevin kind of took the rung itself and started kind of just scraping on Cody's face. Creative. I've never seen that before. And a little mini ladder came into play too. Little baby one. There was a point where a ladder was openly set up on the floor and Kevin was trying to do what I assumed to be a powerbomb onto Cody onto the ladder. But Cody reversed it to where he flipped over Kevin. Oh my God, that legit made me scream. That dude's middle of his spine hit the ladder, hit the pointy part where the corners connect, and oh my God, his back must be killing him. They're fighting some more, and it gets to the point where Kevin's on the top rope. Cody's trying to do more than likely a superplex onto him. But Kevin reversed it into his little avalanche buster suplex. And where he did it was the ring had a ladder set up in the middle. And then another ladder set up between where the bottom of the ladder is and then where the bottom rope is. Oh my God. Cody hit that ladder, bounced off that. And Kevin hit at the same time too. It looked like he kind of took the worst of it because it looked like he whacked his head on it. Oh my God, I thought legit both were knocked out at that point. I'm pretty sure both of them weren't moving for a few seconds. I was legit concerned. Like, I thought these guys were hurt. And I'm not sure whether this was planned or real life, where Sami Zayn came running down to the ring. He was checking on both guys. And at that point, I'm assuming that he's going to get involved in the match, but he didn't get involved. So maybe he was just checking on his friends. They continued. They go to the outside of the ring at that point, and a ladder is set up where the announce table is and then where the ring is. It's kind of like bridged in between. Set it up earlier in the match. And so they go to the announce table. Cody's whacking Kevin's face on this thing. He whacks his face on this thing, throws him into a ring post. Oh, God. Kevin was bleeding too. He started bleeding out from the top of his eye. God, I felt bad for the guy. Then they eventually get over to the announce table. Both are standing up on it. And it gets to the point where Cody's in position for a pile driver. And so he kind of reverses it over to where they're standing to where Kevin would be launched over into the ladder. And that's exactly what happens. The ladder bridge that was set up comes into play. Cody launches him over and he goes through that thing hard. It looked like he was stuck in between the rungs of the ladder. And just his body just folded up like an accordion into that thing. So Cody comes into the ring, climbs the ladder, takes the titles. Winner, Cody Rhodes. And exactly what I was expecting. Cody won, Got an intense, fun match out of this. But man, we got an intense match out of it. But Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, take a break, guys. You guys deserve it. I heard Cody had multiple injuries afterwards. And understandable. The guy went fucking all out for this. And Kevin was bleeding hard. He looked like he had no clue where he was at. And now for the men's rumble. A star-studded one. John Cena's last one. The GOAT. And for the men's rumble, Rey Mysterio started off and alongside Penta. But I was not expecting those two to start off. That was a great combo to see. Not too much happened in the beginning, standard Rumble stuff, but there was a really funny moment where Chad Gable was standing in the middle of the ring, and 4 people were going out from all different directions, and they all happened to be high flyers. It was Carmelo, Santos, Penta, and Rey, and they all kind of met on all sides. Chad Gable standing in the middle, got super kicked right in the face from all directions. How that man's head didn't explode like a Mortal Kombat fatality, I will never know. And number 8 hits. Supposed to be Akira Tozawa, but Carmelo wants to be a little bitch because he got eliminated, walks to the back, and wants to be a little crybaby about it, and attacks Akira on the ramp. So Akira goes out, and Triple H's like, alright, well, who's going to replace him? Oh! Speed, which that man came running into the ring like a maniac, eliminates Otis along with Braun Breaker, and he starts celebrating. He does a standing backflip, which that's insanely impressive. Breaker runs the ropes, spears him hard as shit like a goddamn shotgun blast, takes him, throws him out of the ring. Otis catches him, he just throws him to the floor, and Show Speed is out, which... silly, fun spot, but my God, did I love it. Say his name. He appears. Number 15 was Joe Hendry. Oh my God, I screamed for that. Once I heard the song kick in, it just registered in my brain. Oh my God, Joe Hendry's here. The crowd went nuts. I went nuts. I couldn't help but stand up and just cheer for the guy. He put on a performance in the ring. He had everyone going crazy for this dude. Until number 16 came in, your tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Oh my God. Yo, once he came in, that arena, practically like a god was in there. Which he came in a lot earlier than expected. I thought he was going to be like one of the last few 20. I thought he was going to be like the last few, you know? And he wasn't. He showed up. He went to work. He came face to face with Joe Hendry, Jacob Fatu, and Braun Breaker all at separate moments. Oh my God, yo, those are dream matches right there. And kind of got like mini dream matches in between. And that was nuts to see. And props to you, Jacob Fatu. Props to you, Braun Breaker. Those two went all out for this Rumble. And they showed up. And they looked like goddamn monsters. And number 21, AJ Styles music hits. He returns. And I didn't recognize him for a second because of the fact that he's actually wearing the Phenomenal One pants. And the song came back. And thank God it did because I hated that black pants look. That was a lame song that he had. Glad to see the phenomenal AJ Styles back because of the fact that he's just one of my all-time favorites. That dude is amazing. Number 23 hits, and it's the man, it's the GOAT, the man that's had 23 years with that company, John Cena. Oh my God, I went nuts. That crowd went nuts. He put on a pretty good performance for how long he was in it, honestly. I wasn't really expecting much from him. Same thing with Roman Reigns. I didn't really think they'd kind of go all out for this, but they did, and good for them. Put on a performance. Cena eliminates Strowman, and then Cena and Reigns have a little stare down, which that was really cool to see. Until the next entry, my number 4 of all-time favorites, Mr. CM Punk, my pick to win it, came in. They did a 3-way stare down, and then the countdown started again. That hits number 25, Seth frickin' Rollins. A 4-way stare down and major history between all the guys. Jay was in there, Drew McIntyre was in there, and they're all fighting it out until the camera catches Damian Priest eliminating McIntyre. McIntyre was pissed. His eyes were showing that he was a fuming, angry man. And according to dirt sheets, Drew had a rightful reason to be pissed, where that happened early, where he was saying that he was screaming and cursing, saying that someone had to get their moves in for the sake of storytelling in the match. And apparently he just left the building at that point. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know if it was true or not. So we'll find out in the coming weeks as reports come out. For the final six: Logan Paul, John Cena, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk. Everyone's down except for Rollins and Reigns. And the camera work was kind of amazing on this because of the fact that Rollins was closer to the camera, Reigns was further. And man, Reigns, that man knows how to do facial expressions. That man was going to kill Seth Rollins. These two start arguing in the middle of the ring, back and forth. They kind of start brawling with each other. So it eventually leads to Reigns is trying to throw Rollins out of the ring. He hangs on. And so they're kind of caught up with each other. Punk sneaks in there, dumps them out. That made me lose my mind. And then as Punk's standing there, Logan Paul comes in, dumps him out. So all three of them are out at that point. My jaw dropped. I legit was blown away by this. I thought Punk was winning this thing. I thought he was going to main event Mania, go on to take one of the world titles. That would have been awesome. I legit looked like the surprised face emoji. So after Reigns, Rollins, and Punk are out, they're all pissed. They're all mad. They're disappointed. Completely understandable. Rollins hits a goddamn 2 feet curb stomp onto Reigns, attacks Punk, throws him to the side, and then puts Reigns on the stairs, curb stomps him into that, and referees all trying to get control of this. They're trying to tell Punk and Rollins to get out of there, which they did. Reigns is still on the floor at that point, which, wow. You know what would be amazing? If this was a triple threat at Mania. These guys all have amazing history with each other. They're all intertwined in some way, whether it goes back to the beginning of the Shield or current day rivalries within each other and needing help at Survivor Series. So it came down to Logan Paul, Jey Uso, and John Cena in the final three of the 2025 Royal Rumble so far. Oh my God. I was not expecting this at all. I thought the last three were going to be the last three that were eliminated. So these three start brawling. Cena goes for a double AA. It kind of comes down to everyone kind of starts moving around, getting their placements in, and somehow Logan Paul goes over the top rope. Logan Paul's out. And it comes down to the final two, being John Cena and Jey Uso. I never thought I would have said that sentence in my life. I've been fine with either Jay or John winning. I love both those guys. My God, those two started going back and forth. They eventually get out to the apron. They come back in. They go out back to the apron again. You know how it goes with the last two in the Rumble. So they get to the apron. And they're going back and forth. Cena picks up Jay for an AA. And Jay slips out of his shoulders back into the ring. Pushes Cena out. Cena's eliminated. Oh my God, Jey Uso just won the 2025 Royal Rumble. This is amazing. Love me, John Cena, but I think somehow he's going to get his world title shot at Elimination Chamber and then go on to face whoever at Mania. Oh my God, Jey Uso winning is incredible. This is amazing. Never thought I would see it in my lifetime. It's divided on this. Some people love it. I'm on that spectrum of loving it. Some people hate it, which I just don't get. Because of the fact that why do you hate this? You root for this guy. You buy his merch. He's the highest merch seller. He puts on amazing matches. He goes all out for this. He's over as hell. The crowd loves him. What is there to complain about? Honestly. He said afterwards that he was going to go after the world title. So Gunther against Jey Uso for the world title at WrestleMania is now confirmed. Which those two have put on classics beforehand, and they can do it again. But man, what an incredible accomplishment. Congrats to you, Jey Uso. Alrighty, that is all from me. I thought the Royal Rumble was incredible. Thought that was a great show, an A+ of a show. Can't really think of anything I didn't like of it. Comment what you thought, like the video, subscribe, and see you later. Stay safe, stay sexy.